Welcome to the No More Crazy Days Summit. I'm Beth Genly, and I'm your host for No More Crazy Days. And today we're welcoming Shermikia Lemon. Shermikia Lemon is an entrepreneur, productivity coach, and corporate wellness consultant. Through her signature coaching and training company, Peacefully Profitable, Shermikia helps organizations who struggle with retention due to workplace conflict. She also works with clients on an individual basis to help them be more productive and reach their personal goals. Shermikia is also the host of the Peacefully Profitable podcast. Peacefully Profitable is a weekly conversation on discovering your passion and turning it into profit, productively balancing life and finding peace. So welcome, Shermikia, to No More Crazy Days. We're really glad you're here.
Thank you so much for having me. Really excited to be here. When I heard about the topic and what we were going to be discussing, I definitely had to jump on and I got very excited about it. Can't wait to hear, the entire summit. But again, thank you so much for having me and I'm ready to get right to it.
Cool. All right. Well, the first thing I want to ask you is where that term peacefully profitable came from, because I just love it.
Oh, thank you. And the thing about that is I get so many compliments on that from everyone. The different corporations that I go to, the individual clients that I have, I just get, that's almost the first thing that everyone says, like, I love the title of your company. And I just think it's what catches the attention of a lot of people. But where it came from was, well, the two things: who doesn't like peace and who doesn't like profit, right? And so with the types of clients that I work with, going into these different corporations and working with many people in HR and just on employee teams, I'm going into a place where they spend a lot of time. People spend the majority of their day at work. When you are someone who works a 9 to 5, you're there the majority of your day, a long time. And so you want this peace, the same peace that you can hopefully get when you're in your home, when you're amongst your friends and family. I wanted to bring that same environment into the workplace. So that's really where the peace came from. I mean, who doesn't want peace? And then while you're peaceful, it doesn't have to be chaotic when you're gaining profit or you're getting more profit, being more profitable in your company, those types of things. So that's really where the term thrive from. Like, I know I'm working with corporations and they don't get to see a lot of peace. It's really about work, get this done. You have this assignment, you have to come in and do this. And the word it's like the last thing in their minds is peace. So I wanted to bring that back into the organizations and people individually, and then all while still gaining that profit.
Beautiful. I think it pretty much sums up the No More Crazy Days theme in a way that I really love. So how do you define balance and in business and in life? Balance, you say you have to use that term wisely. What do you mean?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely would suggest being careful, very careful when you're using that word, that term, because a lot of times when we think that, we're saying, oh, I want to balance my life. I want to make sure I'm doing this at this particular time, or I'm doing this on that day. I'm working out 3 days a week. I'm, taking my kids to dance class or soccer practice and those types of things. But what if something happens, and then what if something happens, throughout your schedule and those things don't happen, those things don't occur. And so all of a sudden you're thinking that, oh gosh, I don't have balance. So my life is crazy now. My life is out of control. And that's not necessarily the case because, we all have like different seasons and different things in our lives that are going to happen. We set goals. We like to set goals, and it's an awesome thing to do. We love for our lives to be in balance, but we also know we have to realize that life is going to happen. And so you have to be prepared when it does. And you can't just say, if something doesn't happen on your terms or, within the goals that you've set, it doesn't mean that your life is no longer in balance, right? So we just have to be careful using that term. We can still get things done. We can still, create a list of goals and make them happen, but you have to learn how to really be okay changing your mindset, like if they don't happen on the terms that you've set.
So I think a lot of the people that are watching this have nonstop schedules. They just go and go and go, and there's constant interruptions and many more things on their to-do list than they could possibly do. So how you said to be prepared when it goes wild, which I'd really love to hear more about, but how do you deal with a nonstop schedule and regain your time and get things back under control?
Well, I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but the first thing I would say is, what can you say no to? And there is something on that list of things that you've made that you can absolutely say no to. It doesn't have to be done that day at that particular time. Everyone will still survive if it's not done, during the time that you set, for it to be done. So I definitely would say the first thing you have to do is evaluate all the things that are keeping you so busy, right? And then try to figure out what is it that I can say no to at this moment, and then bring it back to the table at a later time. Mm-hmm. So, we everyone wants to be, we want to be this superwoman and the superman. We just want to be that person that people can go to and rely on. Totally fine. But you have to be careful with that and realizing you're one person and you really aren't Superman or Superwoman. You can do a lot of things. We can do a lot of things, but we have to be careful with how much we're committing to in any given time. We have to remember that there's only 24 hours in a day. And I can assure you that they're all taken up in the schedules that we've set for ourselves. So the first step in that is definitely evaluating your schedule and what you have committed to, and now saying, what can I put on the no side for right now, and then come back to it later.
I know one of the clients that I'm working with right now, her absolute top value is dependability. And it makes her feel really crazy if she says no to something. And do you have sort of ways in your head that you evaluate, am I living up to my own values when I say no to something? Because I think that's challenging for a lot of people.
Well, every single day, I self-evaluate every single day, because I've been there where I was just constantly saying yes to everything. And it made me, I turned into a ball of stress. I was really just a ball of stress, walking stress. It's what I was. And,
a lot of us can relate to that completely, Shermikia. Yeah.
Yes. And so you just have to be careful with that. I mean, no one wants to stay in that place for a very long time. You have to be careful because, then our health comes into place. But that's another topic. But just being careful with that. So I am a very reliable person. I mean, people know that about me, but now it's just very important for me, not only saying no to other people, but myself too. When I start to think of another idea or something else to add to the business, another streamline or something like that, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. You've already committed to these things. Let's get through this. And who have you already said yes to? Do you have time to add on anything else? So, just prioritize according to what is going to be important in your life and the life, the lives of those around you. That's very, very important, like your close friends and family. Like just prioritizing the things and just making sure what you are saying yes to is going to be beneficial to you and those around you. It's not just, I'm saying yes to this, I'm going to go here, and it's not going to be beneficial. Or I'm going to do this and it's not going to be beneficial to anyone. Mm-hmm. And it's really just a mindset thing. Honestly, it really is. Be careful. We have to be careful with where our minds are taking us. Sometimes we're saying, think about your reason. Let me pull it back a little bit. Think about your reason for even saying yes in the first place. What are your actual reasons for committing to certain things, right? Sometimes our reasons aren't where they need to be. They're not very intentional or deliberate. Like you're not thinking about the bigger picture of what's going to come of it, for you and for others. It takes a lot. It sounds like it takes a lot, a lot of thought process and just really evaluating a lot of different things. But is, what you're doing right now working for you? And if it's not, then you may just need to be a person who does take that extra time to really think about it and evaluate it a little bit more.
Yeah, with people who have really full to-do lists and really nonstop days, it can feel like one more thing to add to the to-do list. But I agree with you that taking that time to reflect on where is this priority really compared to the other things that I have on my plate, and am I on that priority list anywhere? Right?
Absolutely. Great point. Great point. That's why it's just very important to be careful committing to things. Our health is very, very important, and we like to put that on the back burner, for whatever reason. Again, going back to just being Superwoman and being Superman. I also think that just the older we get, the wiser we are. People always say that the older I get, I'm learning that that's absolutely true. And so you just begin to make better decisions because you're starting to slow down as a person, and so you can't be just committing to any and everything. I just think it's very, very important. Get your mindset where it needs to be, and when your mindset is very clear, you're thinking and making wise choices, then there goes the no, coming into place where it needs to come in at. The yes will be the more important yeses will come, and then the no's will start to leave the situation or the scenario. So
speaking to that Superman, Superwoman analogy that you used, and kind of our obsession with superheroes generally, the person that I wrote my book with thought about that for a minute, and she said, yeah, but we don't have stunt doubles. Right? And
right.
we don't get retakes either. They can't reshoot it if we fall on our noses. So remembering that we have one body and one life and not a lot of retakes, kind of pushes the priority up a little, I think.
Yes. And then, like I said, just think about what you're doing right now. We have to really think about the things that we're doing right now and what's working and what's actually not working. You don't want to be, continuously in a cycle where you're doing the same exact thing every day and you're not seeing any progress. Things aren't moving. Nothing's really happening for you. Nothing is really changing. So again, that goes back to that self-evaluating and the commitments that we have. Just really evaluating everything that you're doing on a daily basis. It takes that. It really, really does take that. And it's not going to be something that you have to do every day. Once it's something that you begin to do more regularly, and then you'll start to, then things will just come easier for you. The no's will just come easier for you before you commit, before you even think about committing. It's all about habit. That brings me to habits and where our habits are. Like I said, you're doing, something, the same thing every single day, and you're not seeing any progress or not really seeing things move or change. Okay, what can I do differently? And a lot of people find that saying no is one of the top things that you can start to do to make that change happen.
I love it. I just love it. Okay, I understand that you, any last things that you want to add to this before we get on to your free gift that you're offering?
So no, again, I think that a lot, the important thing is, thinking about yourself, because when you do think about yourself and put yourself first, it's not selfish at all. When you really think about it, you're keeping yourself around longer and making yourself just continuously, to be a healthy person for other people. And so when you look at it that way, just be careful with trying to balance everything all at one time. There's a long list of things that a lot of us have that we're trying to keep in balance in a 24-hour period.
Isn't that
and a very long list. It's just think about it when you think about family, your business, yourself, your health, your weight, all of these things. We want to keep it all in balance, but you have to remember you're one person. There's 24 hours in the day. And, get a little bit done here, a little bit done there. Shorten those to-do lists. Everything can still be done and in a timely manner, but just shorten those to-do lists on a daily basis, I think.
Okay.
It's a good start.
That sounds really good. So tell us, I understand you do have a free gift for our viewers, and I'm very excited to put the URL up for that in our webpage and in our email so people will be able to grab it. So what you got?
Yes, absolutely. So excited about this. I've had so many people sign up for this. Over 500 people have signed up for my 3-day productivity challenge. So it's really an email challenge where you'll get an email from me for 3 days. And on each email, it's going to really help you become more productive every day. I didn't use the term balance, but productivity, is another one of those things that kind of keeps us at a standstill. So each day I'll be giving you tips and strategies that definitely work in helping you to be more productive and watching that needle finally move. If you are someone who feels like you're at a standstill, your business, your life, any of those types of things. So for 3 days, you'll have me in email. There's video, audio, worksheets, and everything just to really help you to move that needle. Even if it's 1 step, if it's 2 steps, it's really going to help you to move the needle in that area of your life where you felt stuck.
Oh, Shermikia, that sounds like a beautiful thing. I'm really excited that you're offering that to all our viewers. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
All right.